All right, speculators, let's fire up the Futures Fanatic Power Hour, last trading hour of the cash session for the New York session. It's a little after noon here on the left coast, and it's September 25th, 2025. I want to start out by reminding everybody this presentation is for educational purposes only, and the opinions expressed are those of the presenter. That's going to be me the whole time. And it's really important to understand that all trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading account. Most of what I'll be showing today is going to be in simulated accounts. It's been a pretty good day yet again, as I mentioned when I created the title for today. Hot streak continues. This is going to be 8 straight days of pretty nice gains. We'll take a look at that in just a second. So the other nice thing is that we're getting some two-way action here finally. So and you tend to get more two-way action when markets decline because bottom fishers come in and bottom pickers and all that good stuff, and it's just easier to be long. So today on the Dow Jones today we had just a really great day here in the morning. We had some long opportunities, we had some short opportunities, and then just about an hour ago we saw a little scare the children move outside the bands. Remember on the Dow Jones it's kind of close to the S&P, although I don't have all the back testing data. You can see here that let me just move all the way over here. Okay, on the S&P, we really did not get below the prior session, below the outside the bands. That's what I'm looking for. Use your words, Rod. We didn't get outside the bands for very long. 11:02 and back in them at 11:05. So a whole 3 minutes we spent outside the bands. One for Sean. Okay, so picture and sound's okay. Give me, put MES in the chat. If you were long MES off of this, basically 27's perfect touch right there. It was not really anything significant over here, except for maybe S3. That's why I do keep the pivots on here. There are still a number of algorithms out there that just use simple floor trader pivots that have been around forever to make decisions. But either way, really nice two-way action. And these are the types of days that we can lean into once we have enough experience with this kind of trading style. If you're following this framework, you can increase your size as well because we still have, on a relative basis, we still have pretty small ranges. They might be expanded a little bit today, but we have 54 is the ATR in the MES. We got 410 in the Dow Jones, and NASDAQ is 265. So I've said on these streams for a while, it's not a matter of if, it's just when we're going to see those ranges double, easily double. Not forever, but they'll double for a while, and that's the time when you want to back off a little bit. So a day like today where we're finally getting some selling, as you can see here from the MES and the Dow Jones, we got an immediate reversal candle. Now that doesn't happen all the time. Of course, when we officially ever enter into a little bit of a downturn, a 5, 10, 15, 20% decline over the course of maybe 6 weeks, you're going to see more often than not that you get little bounces and then we just continue on. But for right now, the situational fluency is such that, hey, if I get opportunities to be long, especially on outside day downs, I want to take those, okay? So this is an outside day down. What that simply means is that right here, this is the prior session. I thought I had a big arrow. I think I have a big arrow in here, don't I? Let's go. My drawing is one called Big White Arrow. That's what I want. Big White Arrow. Okay. So there is the prior session low. Now, I feel like I'm spitting some knowledge already. Just got right into it. Prior session lows and outside day downs are a lot easier to trade on the long side than shorting strong markets when the market is outside the prior range to the upside. Okay. So if I can tell you anything that you should take away from this style of trading is, more often than not, do not mess around with outside day ups, but look to lean in or find opportunities to get long on outside day downs. It turns out we did make a lower low here. That doesn't mean anything to me on this, but if you crop the wick, the value area low here around 66.38 has been holding really well. On the Dow Jones, it looked a little different. We broke below the morning lows and then got down there to about 46.106, all right? So now enter today. I'm looking to buy the -2s and then just buy the low of the day. It's pretty simple. It's about as easy as it gets. So buy the lows of the day, and hold on, I'm going to just take this off.
Order filled.
And this
Order
off.
filled.
There we go. And I'll give you a little quick sneak peek right there. Add that up as quick as you can. Pause the video, add it up, add it up. I don't know. I think I've added to what I did this morning. But to keep things consistent, I'm going to disconnect all the accounts except for the PAs, 15 PAs over at Apex, and we'll see where we go. On this 8-day streak so far, just in Apex accounts, we're approaching $20,000 in profit. Doesn't mean they all get to the buffer necessary to take a payout. I already took a payout from 5 of them, but we're just going to rinse and repeat. It's called Acorns to Oak Trees. This is a sustainable way to trade these programs and to handle this. And we're going to use leverage across accounts instead of over leveraging ourselves in any one account. That's the idea. All right, so some of you had the MES, but not many. There's 85 people watching. Oh, by the way, I really do appreciate everybody hitting that like button. I think that's going to continue to help the algorithm a little bit, maybe serve this content to a larger audience to see if we can help more people. So if you are so inclined, if you could hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're listening to the stream and you're not yet a subscriber, you can't comment. I think I set that up properly. Just subscribe to the channel. Be notified every time that I'm streaming. And these live streams are going on Tuesday through Thursday and kind of helping out in the vast void of posting standard videos. I just dread that. I know I really should do it, but the idea of sitting down and thinking about something for 10 to 12 minutes as opposed to just watching the screens and talking is a lot easier for me. All right, I just want to take a quick look at these charts up here because we have gold that went up to, it's still shy of 3,800, but nice move, but it's also stayed in the lane. So that's the chart right up here. Let me just make it a little bigger so we can look at each. So it's just a thing of beauty, everybody, right? So does this work on gold? Absolutely works on gold. This is the only period of time in which we were outside the bands right here just recently. And as you can see, same thing. This is in the middle of the night. So even in the middle of the night, we weren't really able to get outside the bands for a meaningful period of time, all right? So offer zone, look to offer, cover longs and initiate shorts in the offer zone, buy or cover shorts in the bid zone. And these last couple times, then look how well this held, okay? The only way that you will develop the faith to just take these trades and do it is by doing it. There's no other way to do it. So the only way you will do this is if you do this, right? If you have too many filters, or I do provide some filters to think about, right? What is the range? What is the time of day? What is your daily risk budget? Those are all things you consider. But at some point, you got to simplify things and just get in the market, Buy maybe when it's the most scariest, when it looks the most bearish, right? Same thing would be up here. I'm not going to short gold at this hour, but this would be well, I'll just put an order in up here. We'll see if we get filled.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I just said what I wasn't going to do. We're in the
submitted.
offer zone up here. I'm just going to short gold. The gold market's already closed. I've been trading gold in the afternoon a couple times when it was moving a little bit. The obstacles is the way, correct. All right. So there's a look on that. Now let's look at Bitcoin, which did get a little squirrely and got outside the bands for a little bit. But now this long in Bitcoin down here, daddy like. So I am resting an order right there to buy 109,260s, minus twos. Call that the minus twos. And we'll be all set there on Bitcoin. If it does not get filled before the market closes, then I will not trade it. I specifically do not like to hold. I'm capable, of course, in my live accounts of holding some swing positions through the close. I don't like to do that with Bitcoin because it's the one market, of course, that never really does close. So you're subject to some gaps in the futures markets, which I'm not a huge fan of. Okay. All right. So that's all the looks there. If we come back down to this, there we go. These are the bands are VWAP. They're 2 standard deviations from VWAP. You can get them on any trading platform. And if you buy anything from Prop Shop and just send me an email at softwaretradersdevgroup.com or info@tradersdevgroup.com, I will give you this workspace. There's been some confusion about what I'm giving you. I'm not giving you an algo. I'm not giving you a strategy. I'm giving you this workspace. So this workspace is what you're seeing right here. Is a docked workspace with the range trader on the left and stay in your lane right here on the right. And then if you come into the trial should give you everything that you need to figure out how this all works. All right. I am short right here, really small. And I'll just see if we can get a move back down to VWAP there. I'm only trading the 2 accounts that are not yet up. Every other account is profitable today. So I still have some trades, I guess, in this account here. I just like everything to be green. See, this one's down $7.80. I don't know if that's off the screen.
Order submitted.
The 2 platforms that you were looking at, you're looking at Tickblaze right here, and then this is Ninja right here. I have the charts set up so that they look relatively the same. All right, watching the MYM is boring, but I tick board a profitable day. This morning I got long too early, but the MYM tick value is small enough. Yeah, that's the key. Grab the ebook. Grab the ebook. Ooh, I don't have the ebook here. And let me add this source back in. Hold on. I'm going to fix up I realized that I did an update of my XSplit, which is the streaming software I'm using, and it canceled the ebook here. I like this version of it. It's kind of cool. A little big, but let's make that a little smaller. So we got that, and then I need to add this thing here. Image file. Let me see. I think you should see what I'm seeing, if I understand how to do this correctly. Where is oh, there we go. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that's a little big too. Go like that. So the reason I put that on there is because Brandon's making a comment about the ability to manage and handle heat in the Dow. That's what I mentioned in the ebook. The ebook is all about how to do prop right, and the way to do prop right is to start and master the Dow Jones for a variety of reasons. And here are the reasons. The one, it has the least amount of volatility as measured by the ATR. Okay, so the least amount of range on a dollar basis, because it has, number 2, the smallest tick value, 50 cents per tick, right? The tick is the same as a point in the Dow Jones. Okay, number 3, there's actually a lot of reasons. Number 3, it's one in which if you're the type of person that wants to sort of see why something is happening, the easiest market to do that in is the Dow. Okay, the easiest market to do it is the Dow. Just put up a watch list of the 30 Dow stocks. It's price weight. It's a price weighted average, and you can go, oh well, Goldman Sachs is way up today, and United Healthcare is way. What's weighing the Dow down? What's happening in the internals of the instrument that you're actually trading? You can't do that with the Nasdaq, even though the Nasdaq is really only 5 or 6 stocks. The Nasdaq 100, 6, 7 stocks. You can't really do it the same way as you can look at the Dow. Okay. And then the 4th reason that you want to start with the Dow is because it's the fastest path to being able to trade professionally in the way professionals really do trade. And that means not only professional scalpers or active traders in the futures markets messing around with these prop programs or trading their own live accounts, but it also means portfolio managers and traders on desks and things that are told, hey, I need a 2% position in my $1.7 billion portfolio in this particular stock. You think that trader can just go out in the market and start buying or selling that stock? No, of course not. They have to ease into those positions. They work the positions based on where there's liquidity. Now, in the futures markets, when I hear this stuff about liquidity, or you guys are we're all demo traders here, right? Or we have become, right? I don't think about liquidity for one instance in my 7-figure accounts when I'm trading 50 lots in the ZN. Why? Because there's plenty of liquidity for me to get in a 50 lot. Absolutely. I won't even get slipped 1 tick in the ZN or even the Ultra Bond if I was stupid enough to trade that. Okay. So all this concept of ICT and liquidity things, this is all nonsense. Total bullshit. Looking at the footprint chart, you don't have to do any of that. You really don't. You're overcomplicating this. And if you're listening to any of that, it is completely not necessary for what you need to accomplish here. Okay. You do not need to look at the internals for the Dow Jones while you're trading it. Just put the orders on these lines that I'm telling you and manage risk according to your daily risk budget. You do not need to make it any more complicated than that. Yesterday, a member had mentioned that he's been doing this for about 2 months and was up maybe 40% or halfway to the profit goal and said, is that too slow? Or how does he deal mentally with, hey, you're making great progress. Someone said progress is progress. That's what this is all about. You keep that up, and it will only be a matter of time, not if, but when, you will be capable of doing this if you want. 8 out of every 10 trading sessions. By the way, what's the total going to be today? What's the total going to be today? We'll see. All right. I'm just going to take this right here because I wanted to make that solid green ass. That's the last account that was red. All right. Question about what to use the bands for, whatever. I'm not here to answer. I can answer questions, but I can't teach the overall strategies in here. Okay. The key to that is get on the list, get access to the trade room, do whatever you need to do. I have heard that there's some people, then I get emails, well, I can't get on this, or I can't get on that, or I didn't get this email, or I didn't get that email. I'm not really good at dealing with the public, but we'll do our best to see if we can give you access. There have been a number of people recently that have signed up for the ebook, put in garbage information other than their real email address, which was only a temporary email. You know, they used one of those 5-minute or 10-minute emails, and then they actually submit a spam notice when they get the emails back from me. So don't do that, or I'll never be able to give you anything, and you'll be blacklisted in my system. If I see that kind of behavior, and I don't have time to mess around with that. So anyhow, the answers to some of those questions can all be answered by looking at the description down below, getting on the list, and then watching the 3-hour workshop that I have here on YouTube. It's called the Situational Fluency Workshop. Just watch that, okay? If you watch that and come in here, you'll find that you're in good shape. All right. Speaking of good shape, let's just run a little buy stop right here.
Order submitted.
Okay. And here, I'm just going to take it right there.
Filled. Order filled.
All right, stopped out. There's a yellow line here. I don't know if
Order
you can see it, but
submitted.
that's what I'm going to short right there. All right. Let me see what else we got in here. That's true. I only sell lines, baby. White lines, green lines. DX and rates are up. Should be down day for gold. You know what? Correlations are dead. I would give up on all of that. I've been saying for a while. And I have a lot of fundamental inputs. I spend a little over $30,000 per year on research related to my trading in the treasury markets, because I need to have if you get bigger and do this professionally, you have to have some fundamental inputs to what you're doing. Even that whole world is a mess. I could have tomorrow's newspaper every single day. You could tell me that NVIDIA was going to invest $100 billion in a company that's just going to turn around and buy their chips right back from them. So just whatever you want to call it, customer financing. And I'm not sure whether I would have told you that NVIDIA would go up $6 or down $7 or what have you. Then the reactions seem to lag. For 20 plus years, I traded inverse ESZN strategies. They worked extremely well. There used to be a tie, of course, to crude oil and the dollar. There used to be some narrative associated with gold. Gold is now like every other instrument out there. It is just a vehicle for money. Everything is essentially just a vehicle for money right now. Momentum stocks, non-momentum stocks, value, all these things are just vehicles for money. Anyway, we're not here for that. We're here to put the orders on the lines and make money. Do you like the ETP copier included with so there's some copier questions. I'm probably going to revisit Thor. I see a Thor question as well. Just don't wait for me. If you want to give it a go, I've told before to wait for me. Now I'm saying don't wait for me. Just go try TradeSync, try affordable indicators if you use NinjaTrader or Flowbots. Get the Thor one only costs like $20 a month or something like that. I think it's even cheaper if you end up getting a Phoenix account. I have a video in the can where I interviewed Leon. I still haven't been able to get that edited and out, but he's a good kid. That's a good firm, Phoenix Trader Funding. I do recommend that. I don't have any codes for it, but I recommend that. Oh, by the way, let's see. This account right here is not in a position. So what is that position? Oh, short gold. Okay, here we go. We're short gold. So remember, I threw out this trade.
Order submitted.
Meaning just put it on there right when I looked at the gold chart and said, hey, this is the offer zone right here. Just stop thinking so much and filtering so many things and just sell the offer zone. Just get short in the offer zone. If it pops up, manage risk, hit the close button. If it gets outside the bands, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so back to the copiers really quickly. I'm just going to wait till Tickblaze has its own copier, and I'm just going to use the internal copier with Tickblaze because I signed up for a number of other accounts with new firms, Ola Prime, and a couple others that I'm testing and working with, and they offer Project X. Lots of firms offer Project X. What's going to happen is, I think the future is there's no more firms probably that will have TradingView, TradingView. Well, no, that will have TradingView and Ninja, they're synonymous, right? I don't think there's going to be any more. Maybe there'll be one or two that will be able to pay and pay the man and offer that. By the way, I just got stopped out of gold. So now the gold trade will be a long at 37.71. By the way, one of the things I use here, WBL, okay, WBL, MGC VWAP. Sometimes I'll put the price. Is there anyone that can tell me what that whole thing means? WBL MGC VWAP. So what are the... MGC is obviously an acronym. You're going to know MGC and you're going to know VWAP, but what's WBL? That's the way I could relay an order that I was... So WBL MGC VWAP. Okay, so back to copiers. I was using Project X. Their copiers is so good. It's just so easy and it's perfect and it's precise. And they even decided to go full demo. You never go full demo. Don't go full retard. Right? There you go. So Luke nailed it. Working a buy limit, micro gold at VWAP. There you go. So if it was -1, I would say working WBL MGC micro gold at -1. And once you understand -1 is one standard deviation below, and +1 is one standard deviation above, then you're set. You would know, where I'm working an order. Yeah, working buy limit. And the other one would be working a sell limit. Okay? So on the copier front, a lot of moving targets, but gosh, that Project X, since it's all demo land, you get no slippage. They just decided, screw all this nonsense. We're just going to literally give you the exact same fill as what you have in your lead account. You guys notice that? I don't know when they made that change, but at least that's how it works on the new Project X that I'm using. I mean, how stupid is that? It's not good, because in the real world, if I'm copying real accounts between AMP and Ninja brokerage and interactive brokers, and I'm trading the MNQ, which has slippage all over the shop, you could be 6 ticks difference between all of your fills. In fast-moving markets, if you have a limit order, you should, the ticks slippage shouldn't be more than 2 or 3. So anyway, yeah, ETP's fine. Your options at this point are a built-in copier, which I think is the best option, or the copiers that are available on Ninja. 2 really good ones are Flowbots and the one from Affordable Indicators. Both very, very good. Okay. All right. We've got 2 more minutes left in this candle, and then I don't know what we do. What are we going to do for the rest of the time? Hopefully the market wakes up a little bit in here at some point. Let's go back to the NASDAQ chart. This should give us a little bit more something to talk about. I'm just bummed about this. What is this? 5, or this one right here. All right, we need a
order submitted.
Don't do that at home.
Order submitted.
There you go. There's some stack shorts. See if we can get a little pop here. Yeah, working buy limit, working sell limit. All right, so back to this workspace right here. If you're using Tickblaze, you can use Tickblaze at any firm that supports Rhythmic. So any prop firm that you have a Rhythmic connection, you can connect to Tickblaze. So today I'm connected to who am I connected to? I think these are Futures Desk. Hold on. I am connected, yeah, the Futures Desk. So I'm connected to the Futures Desk right here. You can see that I also have Apex. I have Ola, which is Ola Prime. I have Prop Shop Trader, and I have TFD there. All right. Let's see if we can get 3 really quick fills here at levels that don't really exist, just in this area right here. So if I didn't answer it entirely, the Thor testing is relatively complete. It's still got a lot of things that don't work for me, but it's an ambitious project and it can do a whole lot. So if you want to connect a lot of things together and create a Frankenstein environment, then you're in good shape there. Frankenstein it. All right, so let me give you another one here. This will be WBL MYM -2. And at least on that platform, that's 46,165, basically. 46,165. I think they should allow moderators or owners of the channel or whatever to put images or GIFs or things in the chat. Maybe I'm just a boomer. I don't know how to do that, but I've never seen that. All I can do is start a poll or start a Q&A. What does start a Q&A do? Hold on. Start a Q&A. Hold on. Does this actually put the question up on the screen so people can say it? Sorry, just hold on. All right. Oof. What in the hell? That looks extremely ugly up here. That screwed up this. No, I'm going to end the Q&A. We're going to end the Q&A. Just go back to chat. Never mind. I'll mess with that later. All right. Well, during this lull, make sure you check the description down below. Get access to all the assets that you can. Love to see more of you in the trade room. We're getting a really good group in the trade room every day. Most of this magic happens during the hour before and the hour and a half after the New York Open. So about 8:30 to 10:30 on the right coast, like 5:30 to 8 o'clock on the left coast. Adjust for your own time zone. Anyone involved in the treasury markets here? This is ZN, man. This has been not too fun. We broke 112, 150, and then got all the way down to 60s today. ZT is hovering around 104, 30s. All right, suck it, Dow. Let's go. Give us a fill. Give us a fill. All right, so the good question here. You know what I really would love to do is be able to take a question and have it be like up on the screen. Like something like this. This would be cool. I need this to be like way bigger though. Montserrat. No, that's a shitty font. Let's use Lato. Lato's a good font. There we go. All right. Can you guys see that? I think you can. So it'd be cool. It's like something like this. There we go. Why don't we use -3 for fast markets like the M&Q? Would that work? Everything kind of works. I did a lot of back testing 15, 18 years ago that came up with a lot of these. So just to brag a little bit, me and parts of my team were responsible for these bands that you're seeing here a little bit. VWAP was always a thing, but no one used it. No one talked about it. No one even talked about it until the pandemic, really. So VWAP was, a lot of people were using Bollinger Bands and other nonsense. I should stop saying that. Bollinger Bands are not nonsense. They're just not as useful at all because you're just, the midpoint, you're just picking some moving average to work off of. Anyhow, we didn't see any significance, and the amount of days in which you needed to add additional bands was just, it wasn't very, look, if 85% of price action is going to stay within 2 standard deviations on all days, and then if you have a day like today where we started with about 80% ATR, then you're getting close to 95% of price action. If you go back and look at the S&P today after the bell rang, the MES was outside the bands. I think I already looked at it for like 3 minutes today, the whole day. So what percentage of 390 minutes is 3 minutes? I'm not very good at math, but I think it's 1%. Not even. So some people have put them on their charts, and if you find that there's another level that helps you out, what I prefer to do is just work with the 2 standard deviations and learn how to look at the slope, especially when things are selling off or rallying strong. Just you begin to look at the slope, see what the swing levels are going to be, and you will begin to develop situational fluency of just seeing the matrix of to when that line flattens out and when the bands have adapted to all the volatility from those opening moves that you'll sometimes see, and then you're good to go for the rest of the trading session. There'll be plenty of days, I think I've streamed on these days, where the market is up pretty big. Like, Russell's up 3.5% on a day or 3%, Nasdaq's up 2.5%, and we are 50 points, 100 points from the +2s. So the market's up 2.5%, 400 or 500 points in the Nasdaq, big up day, and there's enough volatility and movement that you're not going to hit the +2s for the whole remainder of the session. You're going to be 100 points from the +2s. So there's really not even a need. So that's a long-winded way of saying fast markets, it has nothing to do with fast markets. In fact, the faster the market in terms of velocity, if there's already enough range expansion and volatility as measured by the ATR, then there's even less of a probability that you'll need the -2s. Excuse me, the -3s. The -3s would be more useful on a day in which you have very, very low volatility, and then you get a big burst or expansion. Right, and Brad's saying, or you could just use the range trader. The range trader will inform you if we're still inside day or outside day. We have other ways of projecting lows and highs. You can use the rule of projection. Again, all of this is featured in, right here. So let me go ahead and put it in once again. Actually, I'm not going to put it in here. I'm going to make you go look for it. Okay. So we're going to go over here and you're going to scroll down to right here. It's this right here from 2 years ago. It's called the Futures Trading Extended Training Workshop. That's a mouthful. So go watch that, and you'll have all the answers you need. All right, suck it, NASDAQ. All right, I'm going to try to see how fast I can do this. What's the shortcut for text? It's F12, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know why it doesn't work for me. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a default. I don't really think this is worth the trouble, but, you know, it gives me something to do. All right. Here we go. If price comes up to -2 from below, do you go long from -2 or from -1? Good question. Okay. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ where it didn't get outside the bands. What got outside the bands today for a little bit? Oh, the MES did for a heartbeat, right? So price is declining. Okay. You get long right here. This is your first long. Don't take much heat at all. But let's say you stayed out of this and you waited for it to come back inside the bands. As soon as it's back inside the bands, you put an order here and you get long here. And as you can see, you wouldn't get a fill. Once it comes up, since this impulse is much more than the pullback, that's going to give you a decent length of this swing level. By the way, these are 13-period swings. I hope so. Sometimes I use a 9. Shit. Yeah, they're 13. Okay, so these are 13s. Then you'd place an order right here. So, for instance, you'd have an order. I want to make sure I don't get filled, right? We're way up here. Okay. So you'd have an order right here, right?
Order submitted.
So your order's right there, got filled, whatever. Now you're in profit, and that trade worked out. Great. Okay, but if you're not in it, it comes down. You'd have your order down here, and if you miss that, then I would put it at this swing level here, and then after that, it's kind of got away from you. So you could use the -1s now for your entry. I wouldn't be mad at that, but now the other thing that's good to acknowledge here is how well price respected VWAP, at least for this whole chop channel. Now, there are times in the morning where we were getting this on the Dow this morning. There was a chop channel on the Dow. Let me go back. I think I put a order. Yeah, right here. Okay. So this chop channel on the Dow was fantastic between VWAP and the +1s. I know there was a lot of people that were trading that. By the way, see all these? I did get in on VWAP. Then I bought on this swing level. This swing level was already here. And then I bought at the -1s. I keep forgetting this. This might be something that we could do too in the afternoon. We'll get slow. I can just review trades from earlier in the day if you'd like. I like how Tickblaze connects these trades, so you can see all the trades. Profitable, 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 right? And then over here you can see profitable long, profitable long, profitable long, and all these profitable longs, and then a couple of the losses, the graceful exits, the shorts over here. But I don't know if I trust this anymore, but this says up 191 bucks. It's pretty close. I'm up more than that actually in these two accounts, but okay. So back to that, great question. Where'd the question go? What chart was I on? I don't remember. Oh, here we go. All right, so if price comes up from below, do you go long at -1? So the answer is you put the order at the -2s and see if you can get a fill. Okay? All right, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I'll try to figure out some way that I can quickly put the questions on the screen, but you guys can see them over there, right? I think so. All right, next question. Just put a link to Google if you can't find. All right. Yeah, the rule of projection's in there. It's right in there. You can also download the Futures Fanatic course. The way you get to the Futures Fanatic course. By the way, I know it's in here because I look at the. Very, very important. Okay, if you look here, rule of projection. Rule of projection. Okay, we're going to talk about the rule of projection. Look at this. Look at this service I'm providing today. There's the link directly to the rule of projection. You're going to take one ATR and subtract it and add it to the prior session's POC. There you go, rule of projection. The amount of things that nobody on the planet teaches that I will teach you it's actually astounding. I need to. They're going to draw all kinds of nonsense lines and projections of highs and Fibonacci levels, and then they pat themselves on the back when it happens to mysteriously go to those levels. Anyway, there you go. That's it. But also over here on the website, there's a couple different ways to get to the free course. I think this one right here, that's the ebook right there. Hey there, fellow speculators. My name is Rod. I have a small YouTube channel here called The Future. I made that original video when I had 1,100 YouTube subscribers. And now we have more. We need to get to 50,000. You got to tell your friends. There is no limit to my awesomeness. Okay, on a strong trend day, this is the toughest thing when I get questions about trend. First of all, we all have to understand that markets will not trend on lower time frames at a much, much higher percentage of time than they will actually truly trend on any time frame. So mean reversion trading is infinitely better from a probability standpoint than any trend trading system. Okay, I think most of you listening to my voice and are in here are probably participating in these futures prop programs. You are an active scalping day trader if you want to pass those. If you want to come up with some other thing and say, oh no, I have all day and I take 2 trades, I take my best setup, and I'm like, okay, good. If you think trading the Dow is boring, just waiting for active scalping entries in which you will get a lot of opportunities to practice, try doing that kind of thing. One, I take my 2 trades a day. No, don't do that. That's like saying I go up there and I just, I wait for the best possible pitch, or I only play pocket aces. Makes you a pretty boring person, a pretty boring player. It's not going to work out. Okay, so the question though is, on a strong trend day, either direction, VWAP and or minus and plus 2s tend to act as support and resistance respectively. In those cases, you're buying, taking trades off those levels. We're buying and taking trades off those levels regardless of how you would identify trend. Even if you had a slope to the entire lane, when you have a slope to the lane, it makes it better to trade with that slope, especially off VWAP. But VWAP more often is just a target. So you see how this VWAP right now is very flat? You can just see it's flat, right? I probably should have just drawn a line. Okay, see how flat this is? Can't even see that line because I have this box over it. There you go. So there we go. Okay, so see how flat VWAP is here? Just means it's Pong. It's total crapshoot as to whether it has any significance at this level here. But if it had a slope to the downside, you could use it to trend trade off of that. Another strategy that I teach is to add a 34 EMA on a 5-minute, and you can trade off that 34 EMA. If price is above it, you buy pullbacks to the EMA. If it's below it, I'm just still not a fan of that until you've mastered the probabilities. And when you learn this stuff on a day like today, when you have an outside day down and you have that big flush that we had this morning, there's nothing easier than to stay in the game long enough to find the longs there and then just ride that right back up. Right? Wait, it's the easiest trade in the book. Overall, eventually. I wait for outside day downs in otherwise strong markets, which is we finally got a few. I think this is the third down day that we've had in a row. So what? And not even down 2%. All right, so they're there. The Fibonacci spiral, that's great. All right, Mike S. says he gets it. All right. If I come in here and just beat you guys over the head. You know what the most common admission is when I do the Trader Talk Tuesdays with members of our community? These are, most of the time, they're already members. Occasionally, I think we've done one or two with people that weren't yet members, but they're basically members. And sometimes it's like, how long have you been a member of the group? 9 months. How long have you been having success or starting to feel progress? Well, as soon as I started listening to you. Okay, well, that makes sense. For the first 7 months, I decided to sort of do it my way and still mess around and, have you on in the background. I paid my $1,500. I paid my $2,000, and then I just decided to hit myself in the nuts for the next 7 months. You don't have to do that. All right. We got our market on close. Yeah, they just happened. Nothing happened. I'm doing this thing now. So Les said he missed out. I'm going to reward anyone who comes into I'm going to start doing something new too, where I'm going to add some UTMs and trackers. So I'll provide links in here that are only for people that are watching this live, because I removed the chat after the thing is posted. I have on some videos. I like to just remove the chat. But anyway, if you Les, if you just email info@tradersdevgroup.com. We'll hook you up. Okay? And for anyone that's interested in what that is, we're not going to have it available all the time. So I'm not promoting it. We're not sending emails about it anymore. So, but that's $249 for 3 months inside the trade room. So that's going to take you almost to the end of the year. And by the way, I take a couple of vacations and we slow down at certain times, but you get a good 200 trading sessions for me every year, if not a little bit more. Okay, so always 200 trading sessions. So don't worry about making sure you get everything you need, even if we're entering the holidays. So it's 3 months inside the trade room, but the bonuses are pretty cool, which is that you get access to the extreme turn indicator for all 3 platforms forever. You also get access to our members Discord forever. So even if you decide to not continue or not upgrade after your 3 months, it's only $99 a month, but you can cancel if you'd like. I don't know why anyone would do that. It'd be the silliest decision you ever made. But if you did decide to do that, you get to keep all the extra bonuses, stay in the Discord. The reason that that's critical is because if you wanted to come and tune in at any time, I'm just going to cancel this.
Order canceled.
I'll get short at that swing up there. If you wanted to come in at any time, I don't know why Discord is taking a while to start, but because I have a million things going on over here. What's worth its price immediately is this channel right here. So this channel is all of the PTR recordings. So if you ever want to practice, just go back and you're not going to know what happened on any of these given days, right? So you get access to all the recordings of the PTR forever, even if you decide to not join. So that's what the special is. Buying the NASDAQ in the last few minutes here. Buying the NASI. All right, I'm going to go up to the plus ones. I don't want to get in a short 6 minutes before the market closes. All right, so info@tradersdevgroup.com, you can get access to that. All right. I'm trying to do this so it's equitable. You know, a lot of people want to go through the trial first and then decide, and whatever. I understand $250 is $250, but it's also just less than 1 day in some of these PAs, which you will see in front of you every morning. All these gains happened this morning. I didn't trade anything after the trade room today. So these were all this morning. And the only account I was showing this morning was this one over here. So there's $400 right there. All right, $400. All right. Well, look forward to seeing you in the trade room tomorrow, Les, as a new member if you want to do that. UTM is just a tracking thing. It's just a way of me tracking a link that I only provide here, so that'll let me know that someone was in the trade room. That's the only way they could have gotten to that link. Yeah, so Mike S., appreciate it. And it is base hit after base hit. It's just proper sizing for the right accounts. But it's only that in the short term. Stick with me for a year or a little bit longer. You will develop the ability to then go, okay, now, I'm going to take a little bit of my, my retirement account or my IRA, my self-directed IRA or whatever. I'm going to take, and by a little bit, I mean, to be properly capitalized, maybe $100,000 or $150,000 of real money. But once you develop this skill, and I've said this, they've had some sound clips, okay? It is 100% reasonable to do 300 to 400% on that money per year as an active intraday trader, doing the same strategies and same approaches with a few other changes. You should enter and be involved in selling calls and selling puts in the treasury markets as well. And then you can trade whatever you want, including the NASDAQ, up to 4 to 6 contracts eventually in the same style as you're using here, with a daily risk budget that doesn't exceed about $4,000 to $5,000. So it's more like 2.5% to 5% of your account, not 10, which is what we're using because we're using tiny ass accounts. I don't like to get into all that stuff too much, but I do mention it because there's nothing about what I'm teaching here. It's all part of a master plan to help as many people beyond just that first goal of, hey, can I just get $500 or $1,000 out of these prop programs while they last, instead of just donating to all these other traders I hear about. You know who you're donating? You're donating to me. Stop donating to me, because Apex pays me out of your proceeds. You guys all know that, right? So start taking money from everybody that listens to Patrick Whalen or to Rips or to any of these other people that are just doing it wrong, or to everybody at Top Step. Right? And I've said this before on the streams, just when I thought a year ago that the probability, maybe a little bit more, how long's Trump been president? I can't remember. But when I thought, oh, the writing's on the wall, NFA will come in, or the CME is going to come in, or the CFTC is going to come in. No, they're not. Not in this administration. No, this is corruption galore. And that's not a political statement. It just really is. It is, it is the best time to be a person with money or a person with a skill that can capitalize on these markets, because there are now, not only is it not going away, the competition is going to be insane, and the well-funded competition, significant well-funded competition. I've had conversations with new firms coming out of Singapore, out of China, out of Italy just this morning, out of Germany, another one, out of the Philippines, one, 5 firms from Saudi Arabia, just in the last 3 months. Someone got wind of Apex making $50 million a month and was like, shit, I need to get in on that. But don't let Apex take your $50 million. Let them pay you out from wherever all those dipshits are coming from. All right, let's do our thing here. Let's do the guesses. What's your guess? I'm leaving it on the screen for a while here now this time. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. We're going to grab just the PAs. We're going to include the commissions right there. By the way, I don't know if you can see, it's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 35, but then jump down here to 36. 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I did these in a slightly different order, and these are rhythmic, and these are TradeView, okay? All right. Then we're going to go over to here, and we're going to go to ChatGPT. $13.67. No, I think I did better. I added since this morning, I think. You could be right. I don't know. Could be right. I do this in the morning, and then I do it again. I do it again right here. I love my prompt. My prompt is do your thing. Smart enough to remember what that is. Do your thing. What you gonna do? I think it's no. 4,300 is definitely wrong. 3,000, 4,450 is wrong. I'm going with 3120. Yeah. Oh, it's not. We're way off. 2140. So it's 2140. Remember, this is just the PAs, not everything. So if you're thinking, if you added everything, yeah, we're in a lot better shape, especially since I made $663 in the tracking account here this morning. So maybe you were looking at everything. This is just the PAs. Okay, so just the PAs. Top performing was 442, and then 414, 252s, another one at 263, a bunch that didn't make much money. Okay. This morning it was $13.99. Great question. So I'm going to do it in the morning. So we went from $13.99 to 21.40s. $21.40s. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me see if there's any questions I missed. Thanks, Mike. Les is going to join. If anyone else wants to join, info@tradersdevgroup.com. We'll get you hooked up. Just say, hey, it was on the stream, want the 249 special. 3 months inside the trade room, which is one-to-many mentoring every day in an amazing community that's continuing to grow. Access to the extreme turn indicator for NinjaTrader, TradingView, and Tickblaze. Access to the Tickblaze desktop, okay, not strategies for Tickblaze. I'm not giving you ARC or anything like that. You get all that. All right. I think that's everything. Yeah, we're embracing this, folks. It's acorns to oak trees. My job, okay, and this stuff is new, but it's starting to create momentum here. So I'm going to continue to do it. There was 3.5 years that I passed these things, canceled them, never showed them, traded off on another chart, which I still do, a couple other things, and was like, I'm teaching enough. We're just screwing around. Now I'm in your world. I decided, you know what? Why not? I'm here anyway. $20,000 to $25,000. I'm super fortunate. That's about what I make in a few days in my bigger accounts, maybe in a week. But in this, I can do that in a month at an hour and a half a day. Why not? Plus, I can keep tabs on all these prop programs that I'm still promoting. If and when it turns out that Apex or any other firm is truly doing anything to me that I think is nefarious, or they're not honoring their commitments, or any of these firms. And today I'm connected to Apex, Blue Sky, Legends, Interactive Brokers, NinjaTrader, Tick, Take Profit. I'm not even connected to Trade Day today, or to Trade Funder, and I have accounts in both these places, and Tradeify. Okay. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Really appreciate everybody. If you can hit that like button, it does help this stream. I'd really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow in the trade room for Fun Day Friday if you end up signing up. If you're not financially able or don't want to pay for something you haven't used, you can definitely check out the Trade Room. There's links to that in the description down below. That's 10 days for free. You get access to absolutely everything except for the indicators. And those are the extreme turn indicators. You can set up your charts to be very close to exactly what you see me trade with. By the way, we can do the same thing over here on TradingView. So there's TradingView. And here's me long a Bitcoin from 111,320 in Tasty. But how much am I up or down? Who knows? It's got a zero balance. Let me see if it even tracks it here. No, profit and loss is zero. It's just so bad. Anyway, these are the same strategies, just using a 5-minute. If you don't want to use those brick wicks and stuff, look at this today, right? Just look at this. How beautiful this is. Now this is a little treacherous, right? So once you learn how to manage this, okay, you learn how to. What's the best? I just want a ray, I guess. You learn how to. Yeah, I didn't want a ray. Never mind. You got what I'm picking up here. Hold on, we'll just do an arrow. Once you learn how to manage this, which is not easy when you're first starting, right? Just have to identify it, stay in the game, not get hurt with longs too early, okay? And even if you miss this whole thing, right? You missed the whole thing, but then just check back in the market a little later and go, okay, now I have a level to work off of. You could have put a double bottom here at 66.35, or these bands are doing what they do. Just if you rest an order like right here, right? I'm going to get rejected because I don't have sufficient buying power. By the way, this account has $6,308 in it, and it does not have sufficient buying power to buy 1 micro because I'm already long 2. I'm long 2 MBT, and those take up a lot of margin. So that's the real world, right? Anyway, good stuff here. I could linger on forever. Thanks for all the cool comments there. Yeah, so join today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay green, trade like you mean. If not, it'll be on the stream next Tuesday at the same time. Have a great weekend. If we don't see from you, be goodbye.